something I want to note, because I just did my second set and I've been working my way up in weight because it's felt good to do so, and I'm at 130 right now, and because I'm someone that has scoliosis, sometimes loading weight onto the spine feels fine, and then sometimes it gets to a point where it's like, I think this is like my max, and this is a point where it feels fine and good, but going beyond this, there are other ways I can work my legs. For example, doing the press machines at the gym where the weight isn't loaded on my spine, but I'm still working my quads and glutes and things like that, because I can squat more weight, but it doesn't feel good to have more weight loaded on my spine, especially with the spine I have. So this is like kind of a big moment for me that I want to mark, because I've done programs and have listened to coaches where they're like, you're strong, you can do it, da 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 da, and I'll lift more weight, but at the expense of like my body not wanting to do that. Again, just because I can do something doesn't mean my body needs to, and that there are other ways to build strength and build strength than through loading this particular way. So there's benefits to machines, there's benefits to barbell training, and there isn't one that's better than the other or more ideal, in my opinion. So this is like a big moment to be my own coach right now, and to be able to say, okay, this is a great place to stop. And you know, if I am doing a lifting session where it feels good to go higher and everything feels good and I don't feel like my spine is being compressed in any way, great. But today, like, this feels like my max, and that's all I need to do. So yay me. And the other thing I want to add about this is that yes, it is our job as the client to speak up if something doesn't feel right or good. And I recognize that sometimes that can be hard to do, or you do it and maybe the coach overrides it, or it doesn't really listen, or whatever. And so that's just something to note, that communication when working with a coach is like a two-way street, and you do have to, we always have to be our best advocate and speak up for ourselves. I know that's not always easy to do, especially if the dynamic with the person you're working with is like, you have to feel safe with the person to bring things like this up. And if you don't, then that is not the coach you need to be working with. And if you're noticing in yourself like a desire to please, or it's not so much that you don't trust the person you're working with, but if your internal motivator is more about pleasing your coach and getting that praise, then possibly disappointing them because you're like, I can't do that, then that's something you have to reflect on. I know I've been in that position before where I want to please, I want to make my coach proud, that kind of stuff, but at the expense of compromising your body or doing something that doesn't quite feel right, even if you can. That's the thing, that's the frustrating part. This is one of those nuanced situations where you really have to listen to yourself, listen to your body, and take care of yourself and do what you need to do, because it's just not worth pushing it to a place it doesn't ultimately want to go. This is not paint. This is not nail polish. This is the work of a cactus. I was doing a cool down walk in the neighborhood and just brushed against a cactus and got like 3 needles in my finger, and pulled one out, and then boop, Drew blood. Oh, living in the desert, it's so nice. It's so awesome. Yeah, but it's also harsh sometimes. That's why I loved living in Washington and Seattle, because you could brush by the foliage and nothing will happen to you. It's nice and soft and lush over there. No, not here. It's pokey, prickly, spiky, and dry.